Yo, bro. What's up? This is Big T Hib, Hib's House Boxing. We back at it with the review / recap, whatever you want to call it, of the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight last night. First of all, let me say, man, let me apologize to Bud, to Terrence Crawford. Yo, I was wrong. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I said that I wouldn't be surprised no matter what happened, and I said it could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bud knocked out Spence. And that was right. I'm not surprised, but man, I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? I really didn't expect a domination. You know what I mean? And I got to give him his props. I gotta eat crow. I gotta say what it is. You know what I mean? Terrence Crawford dominated Errol Spence last night. I mean, who saw that coming? You saw that coming? I ain't see that coming. That's just the truth. I ain't see that coming. I ain't see a domination, you know. I'm not shocked by it because, like I said, Terrence Crawford is a bad boy. It goes back to that weigh-in. And you remember I said the way Terrence Crawford looked at the dude, like he knew he was going to beat him. It's like he knew he was stronger than him. Because everybody knew Terrence Crawford had more skills, but if you thought Errol Spence was going to win, you thought it was because he was bigger. And not just bigger, you equate bigger to being stronger. You thought Terrence Crawford was the stronger fighter and was going to be able to bully him on the inside. That's why you thought he was going to win. If you thought he was going to win. That's why I thought he was going to win. And I thought if they got into a toe-to-toe fight, that Crawford was going to lose that fight. I was wrong. I was wrong like a mug. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up, I was wrong. Terrence Crawford wasn't taller, but he was bigger. He was girthier. You know what I mean? I just watched Showbiz, the adult video, and he said something, man, it just made so much sense, him being there. He said the moment they knew, the crowd, as far as the whole arena, he said he was sitting by Andre Three Stacks, Marlon Wayans, and he said the moment that they knew the fight was over was before the knockdown in the second round. There was a point in the fight where, and even I said this, or I noticed this during the fight, where Errol Spence tried to push him with two hands, tried to crowd him and do what we thought he was going to be able to do. Terrence Crawford stopped him in his tracks, and then on top of that, pushed him, and Errol Spence kind of flew back. And even at that moment, I was like, wow, he just tossed Errol Spence like he's stronger than Errol Spence. I ain't see that coming. I knew it was possible, but I didn't expect that. I'm going to give all the credit to Terrence Crawford, but I'm going to be honest, and I got to say what I saw and give you, you know, why I thought that, you know what I mean? He was definitely stronger than Errol Spence. But what I'll say is Errol Spence didn't really look right from the beginning. From the moment, even in the back before the fight, what was so crazy is when Pitbull was fighting, they was waiting, they cut to the back room, and Errol Spence had on a tank top, and I'm thinking that they're not the next fight. I'm thinking that there's a fight before Crawford and Spence after the Pitbull, Isaac Cruz fight. Because he wasn't warm. He didn't have a sweat going. He was sitting there and he almost looked high. My boy even said something to me after the fight. He's like, yo, does Errol Spence always look like that before fights? Like he had just smoked 3 blunts or something. It was weird. When it cut to him, he's sitting in the back and he looked spaced out and he looked high. Nah, was he high? Nah, I don't think the dude was high, but man, I got to go back and watch some of his old fights. Man, I don't recall Errol Spence ever really looking like that before the fight. And what at the time I'm thinking, okay, there must be a fight after this Pitbull Cruz fight. Like, they can't be the next fight because, man, you're supposed to be in there warming up. You want to have a good lather before you get out there. I remember Floyd saying that. Man, you got to be warm before you go out there. You need to have a sweat. I'm not saying you got to be drenching because you don't want to overdo it before the fight, but you damn sure want to do a warm-up. And maybe they did after that, but Man, I don't think they did, man. Cause like on the way of walking out there, like I said, he didn't have a good lather, man. He didn't have no. You couldn't see no sweat or nothing on him, no trickles. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe that's just me being in my head, but that's one part of it. Another part of it is, man, I feel like he knew Terrence Crawford was going to be stronger than him. Just the way he was acting, and then after the fight, the stuff he was saying, and my timing was off and this and that. Now, I don't know if that's something that the car crash took from him, because people are like, oh, well, that car crash was 3 years ago. Here's the truth, man. Errol Spence ain't looked the same since that car crash. That's just the truth. He hasn't looked as strong. He's looked shaky. Even in his 3 fights since the car crash, he's looked a little shaky sometimes. And if I'm lying, you know what I'm saying? Or if I'm making this up, or y'all think I'm just saying this, I'm not. Other people have seen this too. He hasn't looked the same. That being said, he still beat the guys and dominated them. You know what I mean? Now, those guys wasn't on Terrence Crawford level, obviously. Now, am I saying without the car crash, Errol Spence would have beat him? I can't say that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Terrence Crawford got more skills than him. But that's just the truth, man. The man ain't looked the same since the car crash, and Terrence Crawford made him look even worse. You know what I mean? So that just is what that is. Now, how much of that is because of the weight cut? I don't know. You got to remember, Errol Spence has been at 147 his whole career. 10 plus years. He's obviously a bigger guy than that. He looked weak. Now, what I do like is that even Terrence Crawford said that they could fight again at 154. He essentially said they could fight again at 154. I think that'll be a better weight for Errol Spence. I think if there is a rematch, which I really don't think there should be at 147 at all. If there is a rematch, it should be at 154. And I give Terrence Crawford so much credit for even saying that he would do that at 154. Because Errol Spence looked weak. Now, would he look weak at 154? I don't think so. But shit, I didn't think he was gonna look this weak at 147. So, man, I don't know. So I'm gonna just give all the props to Terrence Crawford. He was the stronger, better fighter. He's a bad man. And he's a genius. Like, I said that I didn't think he was gonna be, disciplined enough and poised enough to stick to the game plan. I was wrong. He looked poised. I just said I hadn't seen him do it before, but I saw him do it last night. So all credit to Terrence Crawford. He's a bad man. 2-time undisputed champ. You know what I mean? 2 weight divisions. First ever male, Got to give him his props. Is what it is. Terrence Crawford, he's a bad boy.